With me today, I have a brand new 2020 Audi Q5. And ever since the redesign back in 2018, these have been selling like hotcakes. In fact, Audi sells more Q5s than any other car or SUV in their lineup. But how good is it really? That's what I'm here to find out. So in this review video, learn everything there is to know about this brand new Q5 so you can decide if this is the right SUV for you. Stay tuned. I want to give a big thanks to Audi Westmont for making this video possible. So if you're in the market for a brand new or used Audi, definitely check them out. Their URL is in the description and on the screen. Starting with the outside, the front end to the Q5 is much like the rest of the lineup from Audi. The large grille in the center with Audi emblem is imposing and recognizable anywhere. The headlights on this Premium Plus trim has full LED treatment with daytime running lights wrapped around. Audi has removed fog lights, so you won't find them on any of the trims for the Q5. Moving on to the side, you could see some nice curves to the body. There are also some nice touches such as the window trim surround and the lower door trim, both being aluminum to match the integrated roof rails. The wheels on this trim are 19-inch wheels with 235/55 all-season tires. They are optional with the base premium trim, which comes with 18-inch wheels instead. The backside offers a large rear window with integrated spoiler and a shark fin antenna. The taillights are completely LED and have a cool effect when you lock or unlock your car. The bottom bumper has a nice aluminum trim piece that surrounds the dual chrome exhaust tips. There are 3 trim levels to this Q5. The base premium starts around $43,000 while the top prestige starts around $54,000. All trims come with quattro all-wheel drive and the same engine that I'll talk about in a little bit. Now the premium comes with 18-inch wheels, power tailgate, LED taillights, and does come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now Premium Plus adds on bigger wheels, LED headlights, panoramic sunroof, and more safety features, including gorgeous virtual cockpit. Now lastly, Prestige adds on adaptive cruise control with lane assist, upgraded audio system, a 360 camera view, and a heads-up display. As for the engine, there's only one option. It's a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that is pushing 248 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 comes in at 5.9 seconds. The trunk to this Q5 offers plenty of space for hauling. There are 2 small storage spaces on both sides held in by nets. There is also a strip of LED lights on both sides as well as second row fold down handles. Underneath the bottom cover reveals a spare tire that weirdly enough you have to inflate to be able to use. The second row of the Q5 is covered with soft and good looking leather and it is full of amenities. There's a pair of vents, pair of USB ports, and a 12V outlet. There's also heated seats back here which are optional. There is sunshades on each side and you usually don't see this in this class. There are also 2 cup holders. They are in the middle armrest. What's great about the whole middle section is it can fold down to accommodate larger items. For parents, there are 2 sets of car seat latches. As for space, I'm 5 feet 10 and I have about 3 inches of legroom left and about the same for headroom. The seats are fully adjustable. You can slide them forwards and backwards and also recline forwards and backwards. Next, let's look at the front cabin to this brand new Q5. Alright, so now I'm behind the steering wheel. Let me show you what's going on up here and all the features that you get in a Q5. Now, starting with the steering wheel, this has a nice thickness. It is covered in leather. Overall, it just looks very sleek and it matches with the rest of the cabin, as you can see. I do like this a lot, and I'll let you guys know how this feels once I start driving. Now, as for the buttons, there's only a few. Over here, this is all controlling the virtual cockpit, which is really big in your face, and I love it. I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit. This is for your phone control, volume. This is for navigation and heated steering wheel. Now the heated steering wheel and the rear heated seats are part of a cold weather package. Unfortunately, that is optional. Now, let's move on to this, the virtual cockpit. As you guys could see, this is one large screen, and Right now, by default, you could see the navigation map behind you, and it just looks like a bird's eye view, right? Like you're kind of above it all, and I love that. And in this view, your tachometer and speedometer are much smaller, and of course, you get to see some of the basic things such as time, temperature, radio station, all that. But if you press this view button right here, you could see you could change that. You can have more of a traditional look where you just have a smaller maps, right, and a tach and speedometer being normal size. So it just really depends on how you like it, right? And it's just really cool how you can navigate through these two views. Now, if you press these buttons, left or right, you can see a few additional things. Like, for example, this is your short-term memory, basically your trip computer, like your average speed and fuel economy, and then you could go to your radio. This is for your phone. And then this is for navigation, so you can scroll through left and right, and also depending on your view. So in this view, you see a little bit more, right? You also see your oil temperature like this. And then over here, you know, just a few more views. You do have some paddle shifters over here in the back, right? So you can do manual shifting, and I'll test that out in a little bit. Now over here, this is where you have all the light controls, okay? And dimmer control. And then over here, this is usual window and mirror controls. And then you can see auto up and down for all 4 windows, which is nice. Now over here, you do have some memory seats. That's pretty standard. And of course, let's talk about the infotainment screen here, which on the Q5, it kind of pops out. I actually like this setup a lot. I actually do. Now, one bad thing is this is not touchscreen. Okay, so if you try to do this, it's not going to work. Everything is controlled through here, but fortunately, this is one of the better setups. This is actually really easy to use. So if you want to scroll through the different menu items, all you have to do is just turn this knob, and that's it. And you can go through various different things. Now, in case you're wondering, yes, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto are standard on here, so that's not a problem. So even if you don't get navigation, you could just use that. Although with the virtual cockpit, you kind of want to use navigation, right? And then you can just scroll through whatever you want to do, right? Pretty easy. And also all you have to do is just press down on it like so, right? And then you also see you can have back over here. This is the menu. And of course you have some quick options if you want to go radio, media, navigation, tele. So this is like kind of some quick options. And these are presets, so you can assign these. Like if you press number 1, you can see not assigned, number 2 not assigned. So you can assign certain things on here. You can think of them as favorites, right? So if you want to navigate somewhere really quickly, you can definitely do that here. Now, moving on down here, this is obviously climate control. I like how it's kind of set into the dash, and this nice aluminum bezel, including the buttons, right, which is touch. As you can see, I'm not even pressing down on it, but you can see it's going through. Really nice, and easy to understand. As you can see, tri-zone, right? You got some large knobs here that you could just turn. Really easy to understand. Now over here, you have heated seats and cool seats. And as far as I know, Audi is the only manufacturer I've tested where you can have both heated seats and cool seats on at the same time. And the reason for this is if you wanted to blow hot air rather than cold air, this is how you would do it. And I've been testing it and it works. Surprisingly, it works. So you got some defroster options, recirculation options, and that's pretty much it. I mean, the screen is big. It's really easy to understand, you know. So this is fan control, and you could just adjust a lot of things here, manual adjustments here. So it just really depends on what you want to do, but overall, you hit auto and away you go, right? Now down here, you got a column of buttons over here. Now drive select. This is where, if you press it, you can select different various drives, and it'll tune your Q5 a certain way. For example, if you want to go off-road, or, I went the wrong way here. If you want to go off-road, you want to do comfort, auto, which is what it is by default, dynamic, and individual, and you can customize these however you want. Right, so it's pretty cool. I'll test some of these out. I'll start with an auto, and then I'll go into dynamic, which is the performance setting, and I'll let you guys know how it tweaks the throttle and the steering response and suspension. All right, here is engine auto start stop. This is where your engine stops when you stop at a stoplight. I normally turn that off. Traction control, parking sensors on or off, hill descent, and this is just to turn off the screen if you didn't want to see it. So there is a button for that as well. Now, down here, you do have the start stop button. You have a tray, a small tray. It's not deep enough to put your phone, so it's just, I don't know what to put here. One USB port, 12V outlet, okay? This is for your volume, right? So it's not up here. You got to get used to it. There is the volume controls on your steering wheel, of course, but you could also do it through here. Now, you do have somewhat of a traditional shifter, but not really. Okay, so if you want to go to reverse, let's say, right? You hold this down and you go up like that. You can go down, right? You can do it like one at a time or just go through many at a time, right? But overall, oh, now I did it so fast that the car is confused, thinks I'm going to reverse. Now, if you want to go to park, you do have to push down the P button. So that's something that you just got to get used to. I don't know why Audi just didn't put P on top like a traditional shifter and you just go all the way to the top. I don't know. They just decided to put a P here. Electronic brake, right? Parking, electronic parking, braking. So as for this is really nice. This is your wireless charging pad. So if you have a phone that supports wireless charging, just set it here and away you go. And what I love about this is you could just push this back, right? There is enough space over here so that your phone could still charge and push this back, and you still have access to your cup holders, which is really nice. Now, of course, you can open this. You can see there's an aux port, another USB port, and just some room here. Although it's not very deep. I expected this to be deeper, but that's about it. Both seats up here are actually really good looking, very sporty, right? As you can see, very sporty seats. The bolsters, nice and big, and same thing down here, right? I'll let you guys know how these seats feel once I start driving. And then overall cabin, take a look just from a door panel, that walnut wood, right? And then take a look at the aluminum door handle, which is just outstanding, right? And that carries into the dash. As you can see, this huge wood kind of trim piece that goes all around, right, with the infotainment and how that carries down here, right? Overall, I think it's a very good cabin, very elegant. Now up here, you have the SOS button, you got home link buttons over here, and this controls the gigantic panoramic sunroof. Take a look at how big that is. That is absolutely enormous. Goes all the way from front all the way to the back. This is one of the bigger ones I've seen. Now, some manufacturers claim they have a panoramic sunroof, but it only goes halfway or 3/4 way. This one is all the way to the back, and it lets so much light in. It's time to go for a drive. Let's see how this Q5 is on the roads. So first impression is, so far so good. This Q5 going at low speeds right now, very, very quiet, very comfortable. The suspension is soaking up the bumps. So far, pretty good. Now, one thing I have to comment about the steering wheel right now is I am in auto driving mode right now, and the steering feels very, very light, very, very light. And what's weird is, you know, when I'm turning, the steering wheel is so light, it doesn't turn back to center very quickly. In fact, it's really slow turning back to center. So later on in the drive, I'm going to turn it to dynamic mode and see how the steering is then. Now, the engine auto stop feature is on, so as I'm parked here, the engine just stopped. Let me see how much lag there is. Actually, pretty good. So the engine started up right away. I would say that in terms of noise, vibration, and overall time it takes to start back up, actually that's probably one of the better ones I've experienced. So those of you guys that want maximum fuel economy, leave it on. But you know, stop and go traffic may still get a bit annoying. Now that I'm up to speed, I'm going about 50 miles per hour. The overall quietness, a little bit less than before. Not so much with wind noise. Wind noise is still good, but I do hear a lot more from the tires. Also, when cars are passing by, I do hear a lot more of that. Whoa. Yeah. Acceleration, definitely not a problem. Wow. That was surprising. I mean, you guys saw that, you know, I actually got pushed back in my seat. The rear of the Q5 squashed down a little bit. This is a fast SUV, and this is not even the SQ5 version, which has a lot more power. This is just the normal engine, the base engine that you get in a Q5. Man, so passing, getting up to speed, you're not gonna have a problem with in this Q5. And the engine and exhaust is super quiet too. When I just floored it just now, there was not a lot of commotion. It didn't, you know, it didn't sound like the world was going, and it just sounded like business as usual. So the insulation from the engine compartment and the back to exhaust is really well insulated. In terms of overall driving position, I definitely feel like I'm sitting on the lower side. So in comparison to other SUVs I've driven, this is on the lower side, so getting in and out is quite easy, and you're not sitting very high. It's of course higher than a sedan, but compared to some of its peers, it's on the lower side, and that's okay. In terms of visibility, very great. In terms of, you know, windows, windshield, side windows, back window, all very big, no blind spots. Everything is really good within view, so visibility is great. As for the seats, also very good. I feel like I'm snugged in here, right? Even though these are leather seats, and a lot of time leather, you kind of slide around in it. Not so much. The back bolsters that I showed you guys really works. It's not very narrow. It's holding me in well. And same thing with the bottom cushion. All right, so now I have an opportunity. I'm going to change the drive select from auto to dynamic, and I'm going to see if it makes any difference with the steering, with the throttle, and with the suspension. Oh yeah, I definitely feel it in the throttle response a lot. The car gets up to speed, the RPM go up much faster with just a small input. I feel like the steering did get a bit firmer, just slightly, very slightly though. I would just leave it like this all the time because the throttle is much better, throttle response I should say, and the steering feels much tighter, so I would just put it in dynamic mode all the time. So this 7-speed transmission is silky smooth, silky smooth. Going between the shifts, I cannot feel it at all. The only way I know is by looking at the tach and seeing the RPMs drop. It's like you can't feel it. All right, so now I just shifted to manual. So let me test out these paddle shifters, see how they are. Man, yeah, these shifts are so good. I downshifted 5 to 4 to 3. I don't feel it at all. I mean, man, it's amazing. Overall, I think the brakes are very good. They perform as you expect. They have a nice feel, not too firm, and it does stop the car quite fast. So you don't have to put that much pressure down on your foot, and it just stops this Q5. So overall, I like the brakes. So right now, I'm on this road where there's a lot of imperfections, small bumps, dips, and stuff like that, and and this Q5 is just taking it all. It's a very comfortable feel, very comfortable feel. It's just handling everything great.
Lastly, let's talk about the good and bad to this brand new Q5. Starting with the good, the Q5 has an elegant and modern exterior and interior. The second row is adjustable and there's a ton of amenities. The Q5 definitely has a fantastic engine and transmission combo. You have great visibility and a good seating position. All seats are very comfortable. And finally, the virtual cockpit is amazing and the infotainment system is pretty good too.
As for the bad, there are a few things. I find the steering to be very light when you're not in dynamic mode. There's slight noise from the road and cars passing by. Optional packages are expensive on this Q5. There are also many safety features that's just not available on lower trims. And finally, the fuel economy trails some of its competitors. Overall, I'm giving the Q5 a score 92, and if you want to see how this Q5 ranks among its peers, then check out driversonlyrankings.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel and check out some of these other videos.